Good day, viewers. You're welcome to EATV. With me today, I have Mr. Anthony Moye. He's going to help us to discuss on issues, on trending issues on education. And these issues have to do with examination centers. For Jamb, the particular one that is coming up, and the mock exam that took place few days back. We read in the media that a particular institution, is a religious institution, rejected some students entry into their premises because of religious studies. So today, Mr. Anthony Moye is here to discuss the issue with me and the legality of what the institution has done and also Jamb. You are welcome to the studio, Mr. Anthony.
My coordinator, I say good afternoon.
You are welcome.
The public, I say good afternoon. My name is Anthony Moye, a legal practitioner.
Thank you. Something happened about a week ago. Some students were posted to a particular institution to go and write a mock for Jamb. They got to the gate of the institution, they were being rejected. Why? Because they were putting on a particular mode of dressing in a religious way. And the institution insisted they would not enter the premises. It becomes an issue to the extent that the Jamb registrar was involved. The school insisted that that is the law of the school. Sir, is that a law?
In response to your question, I will make reference to the sources of administrative law in respect of statutory bodies. The powers of any of them are derived from three sources, and one is express. The second one is upright. While the third one is a backup, a supportive power, which is inherent. It's just like creating an office. When you create an office, there is an express power attached to that power, that office. And there is also a implied power or rights attached to that office. The backing right is what some persons in legal practice call appurtenance rights. This right makes it possible for one or an authority or a body to actualize that power which is given to it by express power. It's just like when you talk of tenancy in Nigeria. We have appurtenance rights when it comes to tenancy issue in this country. All the rights that makes it possible for you to enjoy whenever you have hired legally goes to making it possible for you to enjoy that apartment which you have hired. And in situating it with what we are about to discuss in this matter is this. Actually, a university is established through a statute or a law. And these laws are there to guide the school authority, and their relationship with the public and their relationship with the students and the staff. When any of these laws is breached, the Senate, in overseas they call it visitor, but in Nigeria we call it chancellor, has the right to discipline. And I think that is exactly what the particular university has tried to exercise.
So the university authority has the right to decide who comes to their premises, the mode of dressing, the look of the person. Now, these students are just ignorant. They don't know. They came, they dress in their hijab. Let me just open up the story. This happened at Convenant University. They came on their hijab. The school authority refused their entry into the school, and they must have to write that mock exam that day. For those of them who removed the hijab, they moved and went in. Therefore, we learned about 4, 5, there were 8 or more than that in numbers, refused. And parents were calling and they said they would not remove their hijab because they also believe in their religion. The Jamb registrar was called and he came in to the situation. The Jamb centers coordinator was also called. The school insisted and they never shift a grant. Now, you have established that the school authority has the right, according to the act establishing the university, to decide who comes into it. So, are you also saying that the school authority also have the right, even if Jamb give admission for a student to study in that school and pass as a requirement, does that school also have the authority, the right to stop a student from studying in that school, in that university? By law.
A particular university has the right to reject any candidates or refuse entrance to such a candidate to their university. I will use 3 cases to portray this. One is Australian case that was decided by County Court, which is equal to the Supreme Court of Nigeria, which says that when the visitor, which is in Nigeria, the chancellor is acting in magisterial capacity, no court has the right to intervene on the discipline or the decision reached by the visitor. This is Australian case.
Australian case.
Coming back to our own nice and wonderful country, Nigeria, in that of Union case and that of University of Agriculture, Macaulay, the Supreme Court ruled that when the Senate or Chancellor decides any matter that is domestic to the university, that the courts should not intervene because it is a domestic matter. And who goes in and out of any university is a domestic matter. There is no complete transfer to any institution in Nigeria, especially university. And that is why we have the security, the gateman at main entrance and exit of these universities. With this, I think and I hope, without fear, that a particular university has the right to refuse entrance to any person, no matter who sends such a person to that institution, on the basis of maintaining the law that established the institution.
Okay. So, in short, Convenant University is very right in getting those students entry to go and write Jamb in their premises. Very right. Convenant University is right according to law. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And to portray that, yes. Convenant University is owned by a church, by a faith-based church, which believe in a particular religion. So sending someone that will violate that their religious principle will not be acceptable, because there is a reversionary interest which the school will have to make sure that they protect. And what is reversionary interest? The reversionary interest is to the fact that at the end of the contract, that subject of contract has to come back to you. If you allow the subject of the contract to be destroyed in the process of the contract, then what do you get back?
Are you now saying that as a parent, your child was deprived of going into that school, university, right? His or her son cannot sue that school, Convenant University, for depriving that child, or Jamb taking up case, legal action against Convenant University. Why did you deprive my customer of coming to write exam in your center? We have an agreement, and you never told me, or I don't know if Jamb knew that any student with Jamb or non-religious belief, not believing in their religion, will not be. I believe Jamb will not post the student to that school. So I'm thinking about the legal aspect now. Who can take who? Who can take who to court, or who can institute a legal action among these three: parents, school, and Jamb?
Right. That is a very fine question. But I will not answer it in terms of who will take legal action, for the reason that our law gives free access to court, no matter how foolish your case may look like. If I were to be consulted as a legal practitioner by either Jamb or the parents of these children, in regard to their success or their victory in court in respect to this very matter, I would respond negatively, and I will portray my answer in this manner. Truly, I will take that of Jamb and Convenant University first. Truly, there is a contract between Jamb and the university in respect of giving that place for exam purposes. But what takes away the power to sue and hope for good success is the legality of that contract. There are two ways a contract can become illegal. especially this when the illegality of the contracts is on the surface that every person knows that this is illegal. You cannot enforce it. No court will give you support. The other one, which is not open to majority third party, particularly known to lawyer, is when the process of enforcing that contract, when the contract was entered, on the surface of it, it was legal.
Okay.
But for you to set the processes of actualizing the contracts, they find out that the process involved illegality, which is a breach of the law of the university. The university has the right to stop the contracts.
Okay.
And that is what the university, Convenant University, has done by coming to say, look, if you insist coming with this your uniform, which is contrary to our laws and our principles, we will not allow you. But if you can leave this behind,
Okay.
you can come in and do your exam, but will not allow this uniform in our ground, because the ground has been dedicated to a particular religion that forbids this dressing. Now, guys, in respect of Jamb, thinking of taking Convenant University, now the parents of the children that were actually involved, if you are not a party, you cannot sue. Even if the contract is made for your benefits, you cannot sue. So the parents cannot sue because there was no contract between the parents and the Convenant University. In fact, before then, even up to now, they may not have come face to face, neither have they exchanged any write-up. So from every perspective, it's quite understood that there is no contract between the Convenant University and the parents of these children. Although there are some situations whereby a third party can sue in respect of contracts. And what do we mean when we talk of third party? Third party simply means someone who do not have privity of contracts. And there are just only two situations whereby such person could sue. One is when the contracts actually create trust. If the contract creates trust for a third party who is not a privity or do not have privity in that contract, he can also sue to maintain that trust. The second exception is in relation to agency. When an agent goes into contract, not disclosing his principal or unnamed principal, or when the agent exceeds its authority, in such a situation, third party can sue. And these are the two exceptions whereby any person who is not having any privity of contract can sue in respect of that particular contract. And to situate our answer and respond to what is happening between the parents of the children that were denying entrance, and Convenant University. The parents do not come under any of this umbrella. Neither did they contrast Jamb and Convenant University create source for the parents or the children. Nor is the contract a contract of agency. So there is no way the parents can come in and sue as third party.
Okay. Conclusion. We heard in the media that the Jamb has agreed to reschedule the exam for those who miss for that purpose, which is a mark. The real exam, Jamb exam is coming up later for the writing of the mark. Does that mean that, in conclusion, does that mean that Jamb accepted defeat, or just accepted they are faulty, or they lack some legal aspect or legal jurisdiction in that area?
In response, I will look at public policy. Jamb is a public institution,
Okay.
an agency of government,
Okay.
and there ought to be a body that holds the ideology of public policy very firm. No act should be allowed to disturb public policy. Jamb haven't decided as a law-abiding institution and an institution that holds public policy to extend
Okay.
to the schedule Jamb examination for these people that are affected by the decision of the university. I think they have acted very well and wisely. Because it's true that two evils are facing them, but they have acted wisely by choosing the one that will fetch the less evil by scheduling the exam for this, than thinking of taking Convenant University or prosecuting any case, whether criminal or civil. So the right thing is what they have done, and I give them kudos for that.
Thank you, viewers, for having your time with us on Here TV. You've heard the legal man has spoken. He said for Jamb to have taken the decision to reschedule the exam is a good decision. Another thing I want to bring out is that if you want your child to be in a faith-based school, please find out the laws that guide these schools. Don't take your children there and constitute problem, either for yourself or for a religious body. Please, let's obey the law of this institution. On here, I'll draw the curtain of this episode. We have more time to chat us on our normal number, which is going to be scrolled on the screen. If you have more info or more questions for our lawyer, you can also ask us. Thank you. Bye for now.